And you also talk about revaluing family values in terms of, I think you've kind of touched on this, making the notion of taking care of kids as important as taking care of aging parents. Or my brother-in-law's an architect, and he said one of his colleagues left every day at 5 because his wife had cancer. And so he was dealing with that, and people accommodated that. But if it's dealing with children sort of in a daily way, I think you bring up the observant Jewish,
Jack Lew, yes, the head of the Office of Management and Budget.
who people respected.
Absolutely.
Sort of what he wanted to do in terms of leaving Friday afternoon and not working until sundown Saturday, and leaving in time to get back to New York,
Absolutely.
by sundown on Friday. But to make sort of a family and a more sort of those kinds of responsibilities as acceptable as other sort of considerations in people's lives. How do you do that?
I think you start by talking about it exactly in terms of responsibility. I mean, it's really interesting that for him, it's a matter of faith, and it's his obligation to his faith. And I've worked with many others, and absolutely, I think we all respect that. I would say when you have children, nobody says Jack Lew shouldn't work, right? Thank goodness he is working, but he has his work, and he has his obligations to his faith. If you are a parent, you have obligations to your family, right? It is a responsibility. That is a deep part of what parenting is. And I think we talk about it that way, we think about it that way, we honor it that way. People say, well, but you choose to work. Well, yes, but again, I would say he chooses to work. Many people choose to work and still have responsibilities elsewhere. To their faith, to other things. I use the example of a marathon runner. Most people are more willing to accommodate that kind of discipline than with family. We think about it as a responsibility, and we honor it, and we try to accommodate it. And there'll be some situations where we can't, but there are a lot we can. I'll just say one last thing. I went back, and I remember when President Obama gave his inaugural address, and at one point he called for a new era of responsibility. And I thought to myself then, he had a really good mother. Because as a mother, I spend so much time trying to inculcate responsibility in my kids. When they screw up, I say to them, okay, you screwed up. I understand that. You have to take responsibility for it. You have to own up. I care much less about what you did than that you take responsibility and you accept the consequences and you go forward. So as a mother, that's what I thought. But he was talking about responsibility for our choices, responsibility to our work, but to our people, to the country. And I think we should think about this in terms of responsibility and in terms of honoring that.